How's it going, everybody? This is Velocity Squared podcast. I'm Kenneth, and I'm with
Rassel.
And I'm Jeremiah.
All right.
And we are Velocity Squared.
Indeed.
Yeah. So, I really don't like mornings.
Dude, me either. It's cold.
Yeah.
It's been freezing.
You have to get out of bed.
Oh, come on. It can't be that bad. It's been like in the 80s.
Hey,
Mr.
yeah,
Florida,
you're in
man.
Yeah,
Florida.
and that's a problem.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it is. We want you to do that.
Well, that's the thing.
Come cold with us. Come suffer.
Okay.
Yeah.
I would
It's
be
freaking-
glad to.
I don't like the cold. You know, I
Jeremiah doesn't have the cold.
I can absorb it, but I don't retain it.
Mhm.
You know, so I hate the cold so
You're
much.
You're not making sense to me.
Okay, so I can absorb as
I
much
know
heat as I
what
want,
you meant.
but
I
I
just
can't
don't.
hold it. Okay.
I just
You
don't
get
know what
this?
you meant. I know what you meant. What do you think? I'm some kind of idiot?
I'm not answering.
Good.
Yeah, it's been pretty cold these last few.
Yeah, working with stuff in the cold weather is not really a lot of fun.
It's been just the exact opposite here in Florida. It's been
Florida.
in the
Florida.
80s. That's how I love to say Florida. Florida.
Florida.
It's been
Florida.
in the 80s. Today was brutal. Sun. I was outside doing stuff and I was sweating. Yeah. And it's
Fun.
It's almost November. Wow.
I
Yeah.
missed that. I missed the 80s so
Yeah.
much.
Well.
Not the year, but the
Degrees.
the degrees. I missed that so
You
much.
weren't around in the 80s.
I'd be wearing. Shut your face. I'd be wearing a hoodie right now in the 80-degree weather.
I miss hoodies.
Me too.
I tried to
And
wear
more.
one the other days, and I was like, oh yeah, and then I got really hot, and I was like, I can't wear it anymore. Dang it!
Yeah. I'm the kind of person to wear 2 hoodies in the middle of summer.
I never understood that about you.
And I know, no one did. I'm one of a kind.
I mean, I see people doing that here. They wear a hoodie, and when it was really
Really?
hot out, and yeah, it would surprise me, but I'm just like, I don't get it. I don't get it. But I guess it's just not my place to get.
Yeah.
You know?
Our boss is from Arizona, and he can't stand the heat
It gets
or the
super cold,
cold.
at like 60 degrees.
Yeah.
Wow. 60 degrees is
Yeah.
nice. I miss 60
Right.
Right.
degrees.
Yeah. I mean, I can do 60.
Okay,
That's just
good.
kind of like wind blowing,
It's
you
good
know.
parkour
So it's
Yeah.
just yeah.
Yeah, good
You're-
parkour
you're
weather.
Staying cool, and you don't have to wear a whole lot of layers, but you
Yeah.
know.
Which I will anyways, but you know, it's
Yeah.
still nice. I'll take my hoodie off.
Whatever makes you most
You know.
comfortable, I guess.
Yeah.
I remember the 60s are like my temperature, like lower 70s to upper 60s are my favorite. Like I remember having a room back when, and I remember having a lot of issues with the temperature in that room, and it would always be like blazing hot, especially in the summer. And one summer it was just so bad I couldn't sleep, and we eventually got me a window air conditioner, which was so amazing. I was able to keep it in like 68 degrees in there over the summer.
Yeah.
Yep.
That was incredible.
Dude, I really do miss the heat though. I'm not looking forward to the cold of this winter.
Ugh.
But you probably are.
Yes, I am.
Going down in there, like, yes.
I mean, maybe I'll get a chance to go snowboarding.
There you go.
Yeah,
this year,
I'll have to find
so-
you a snowboard in somebody's garage.
Yeah. Yeah.
Sorry, I'm mine.
Yep. We don't just go into random garages. We work
We're
as
garage
garage door
door
technicians, so we're not just going into garages and taking things.
Good thing you
Which
cleared that up.
parkour is about.
We'll just have to go into a garage. Next time we're in a garage, we're just gonna snag one.
It's like you're
no.
dumpster diving.
Hey, free headphones, man, and it's like $100 headphones,
They're awesome.
free.
Okay.
Not stolen.
Not sure.
Yeah.
Some people think that's stealing. Whenever
Yeah.
you steal stuff out of trash, which I honestly think is crap.
Yeah.
Yeah. Found a violin in a trash can once, like in a dumpster. It was in the case and it was a little busted, but
Yeah.
You found a
it's pretty great.
violin? Wow.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was great.
I'm gonna start looking through people's trash now.
It's a good idea. All right.
Well, anyway, to kind of get back on.
We're doing a podcast here.
Yeah, we actually have like a goal, with
Yeah,
this podcast.
there is. Point A to point B,
Yeah,
right?
Yeah. The most efficient way possible.
Oh yeah.
We're not being efficient.
No.
Anyways, the goal of this podcast is to enlighten those who want to be informed, to inform those who need encouragement, and to encourage those who are already engaging in the art of movement. This is Parkour.
All right.
Beautiful, man.
Sweet.
Thank you.
Beautiful.
Thank you very much.
There's a
I'll
tear
be
in
here
my
all
eye.
week. Possibly all the rest of the year.
All right. So we're gonna move into our subject of the week, and that would be community/history.
Where parkour came from, where it's at now.
Yeah.
Like all that kind of stuff.
Yep.
Great.
Cool. Yeah. So what do you want to start off with?
Well, we can just start off with some of the questions that people have asked us through either Facebook or text. We've got a few questions that we've looked at. First one on my list here says, what percentage of people in the world do parkour? So that's kind of a hard subject to tackle.
Yeah.
Percentage. I mean,
Yeah.
for a long time, I didn't even know it was called parkour, and it was just kind of the way I lived my life. So people might not necessarily know what it is.
Right. I mean, if you related to something that they would know, percentage would be. It's more of a business term.
Yeah.
It's like
statistical.
it's like how well is our marketing doing?
Yeah. You can't really look at it in that light.
Yeah.
It's kind of wherever you go, there's most likely going to be somebody who does some form of parkour.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mostly over in Europe, outside of the States because it originated more over there.
Yeah.
It's definitely gotten bigger here for sure, but definitely originated more in France. So.
Yeah, it's increasing in popularity here in the States a lot. I actually met a guy randomly at a college thingy-majigger. His name was Clyde, who is Brazilian, and he did parkour in Brazil. And so that was kind of a cool experience, just kind of talk with him. He had different names for everything, and he was running around somewhere down there, and apparently crime is huge down there, maybe, I think.
Yeah. I can, yeah.
He actually got shot through his kneecap.
Oh, jeez.
Oh gosh.
Yeah. Took a bullet through there, and so that put him out of it for a while, but he's a cool guy. So just kind of that idea that not everybody knows what it is.
Yeah.
Like parkour, but it's something that they do. It's
Yeah.
kind of a universal thing. It's Native Americans use it.
Yep.
They probably don't even call it
They-
parkour.
It was just what they did.
Yeah.
It wasn't even named, It was just everyday kind of thing to get through their
Mhm.
obstacles, I mean, they didn't have like rails and stuff,
Mhm.
but I mean, they
I'm
had
pretty sure
they had trees,
yeah.
That's close enough.
Pretty sure the Israeli Defense Force uses parkour training aspects for their military training. I actually met a couple guys that were in the ADF, and they were pretty intense.
All right.
So it's just kind of everywhere.
Yeah.
There's always going to be people. If you're in shape or relatively so, you're probably going to do some form of
Yeah.
parkour.
If you can hop over like a basic, like, I don't know, 4-foot fence,
Mm-hmm. And then try to find a more efficient way to do it. Heck you're doing parkour. That's kind of the
Welcome
basis.
to the percentage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's not really percentage. It's just kind of like whoever does it does it.
Mhm.
It just kind of depends on the person, their personality, their motive.
Yeah.
But yeah, it varies.
Yeah, kind of going back to its origins that we were talking about with it being in France. It was started out as like the military tactic, and then David Bell sort of capitalized on it.
Yeah,
Almost.
he made it
Not really
public.
capitalized,
He made it more
yeah.
public to society.
He yeah, he made it popular,
Basically.
more or less. Um, and so that's kind of where it all got started, and that's why it blew up more in France than anywhere else, or
Yep.
Europe. But it's really great that it's making its way across America because
Yeah.
more and more people are getting into it, and it's such an awesome way to stay in shape.
Yeah.
It's such a great lifestyle.
It's definitely have here lately, at least in our state, has been catching like the eye of the news
Mm-hmm.
more than it would usually.
Yeah.
And it's like it's really cool seeing it. I mean, they I mean it was kind of they didn't really take it too seriously, but they like met some of the like tracers like Jesse LaFleur and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
They like towards the end of their little report, they kind of showed the news reporters actually doing some of the parkour and everything. It was super simple, obviously, but I mean, it's cool seeing the news like oh, this is kind of a
Like
thing.
average Joes.
Yeah, it's like oh, this is kind of taking a you know popular demand now, and it's getting bigger and everything.
Rise, especially with like the opening of parkour gyms.
Yeah.
Because they're popping up kind of everywhere. It's pretty great.
Yes.
Those are making it into the news too. News anchors will be like, "Oh, there's a new parkour gym over here. Let's go check it out." And you have people like my buddy Jason who gets an interview with
Yep.
CNN or I don't know, Nine News.
Yeah.
And then especially with Colorado kind of being known for being notorious for being the more in shape state. So many shameful goons out there.
Goons.
Goons.
Yeah. Nice.
Kooks.
Nice.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's kind of percentage. Kind of.
Yeah, a little bit of the history on it.
Yeah.
Another question I have on my list is parkour for everyone, and basically yes.
Yes.
Unless you're a paraplegic or
not to make fun of paraplegics.
Yeah, no,
we're just saying. But
the smartest people in the world.
no, seriously. But yeah, literally yes.
You can walk. I mean, parkour is for you.
If you have a will to do it.
There are so many. There's actually a rise in the number of girls, women, I should say, who are beginning to do parkour. I was actually reading an article earlier on a group of women who meet just randomly. This one chick sends out this email to 100 or 200 of her friends who she knows do parkour, and they'll meet randomly. She'll send them the destination and say meet here at 7:00, or meet here at 2:00, and it usually has really great turnouts. One thing that's beneficial with that is men typically being full of testosterone want to go do a flip off a wall kind of show off, whereas women when they're together don't really have that tendency as much, so they can focus a little more on the parkour aspects. And then I was reading another article not too long ago about elderly people that are doing it, that kind of get a little bit of exercise.
It's surprising. There's all kinds of age groups doing it.
Yeah.
I saw a video of like a 7-year-old, and he's just pulling like side flips off of like 4-foot structures and stuff like that.
Yeah,
just doing free running. I was like, wow, okay.
Just like gymnastics, if you start them young, that's just
Yeah.
the best time to start them, and then they'll learn quickly, and they have the whole rest of their life to keep practicing.
Yeah. Hopefully they don't. If they have an accident, that won't stop them seeing how they're like, oh crap, I'm not invincible.
Yeah, I've seen a lot that girls tend to, like, if they start young in gymnastics and then they start maturing around puberty time, then they stop doing gymnastics because you got stuff flopping around.
Oh man, yeah.
Yeah, I've
But-
talked to very many girls who have confirmed that.
Really?
Yeah.
They stop because of that?
Yeah,
That's stupid.
I know.
But yeah, it's crazy. Just like how the community works like that.
It's one of the
Let's
best
see.
parts of parkour to me, the community.
Yeah.
It's
Oh
like
yeah.
I've never
You know
seen a better
me.
community for anything really. Everyone's always been helpful.
Yeah. Not too long ago, we went to the Nat Jam that came to Denver. It
Yeah.
was just that the last day that they had it, and Jeremiah and I personally went and just kind of roamed around downtown for a while and met a bunch of random tracers, and we could just kind of tell by the way they looked that they
Yeah.
were tracers.
Yeah.
And
We're just like,
so we're like, hey, we should go talk to them.
yes, that's
And
definitely a
so we
tracer.
we jumped up onto this ledge, and they welcomed us.
Yep.
That's
It was
awesome.
like, and then
we hung
we
out for the rest of the day.
we went to a destination running like ninjas. It was
Yeah,
great.
yeah.
Um,
You know, it's just kind of a fun atmosphere.
really
The
is.
community, everybody is accepting, always willing to help you out,
Mhm.
or even ask you for help. You know, if they see you doing something that you're excelling at, and they may be struggling with it, typically they're going to ask you, or vice versa. You see them doing something, hey, they're doing that well, and I haven't quite gotten that down yet. Maybe they can give me a tip. They're always willing to give you a tip.
Mhm. Yep. Definitely. It's crazy. I got one on my list, and it's like, where do you see the parkour and free running world going? Well, I mean, it's that's just it. It is.
Yeah.
It's going.
It's
It's
There's
Well-
probably not going to be a point B.
yeah.
You know, it's
Is
just gonna
that
keep
yeah?
getting
Pretty much.
crazier and crazier.
You know, until like apocalypse or something. You know, but it's literally just it's picked up.
I was gonna
It's
say it's already gone
yeah,
in the
it's-
best way
it's-
possible. It's in.
It's at its peak right
everywhere.
now.
It's giving people
Too
jobs.
far.
It's
Yeah.
got a name. It's
Mhm.
got itself in games. It's in movies. It's just another lifestyle, like we talked about in one of our previous podcasts. It's just
Mhm.
gotten itself out there already. It's not really like. I mean, there's probably places it will go still, but that's for another day. You know, it's
Yeah.
already gotten very far. So I've seen it come very far over the years, and it's impressed me. I always thought it was just
Yeah.
like some kind of underground secret, but no,
Right.
it's blown up
Yeah.
big time, and it's probably gonna make its way, if it hasn't already, to a lot more countries
Mm-hmm.
and change
I'd
a lot
really-
more lives.
I'd really like to see parkour and free running in the Olympics.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
I'm sure
yeah,
there's a
that's
lot.
awesome.
I'm sure there's a lot of people. I hope there's a lot of people
Yeah.
that would like to see it in the Olympics.
Yeah, it's one of those things though that you can't really
you can't judge. It's true.
Judge it.
It's
really
true.
hard to do that. But I mean, they
But
do have competitions.
In a public eye, you know,
You know.
it'd be cool to see. I mean, they do the. They just got done with the Red Bull competition in Greece,
Yeah, they are.
You know, so
So I mean,
in
there's
that
a way to
way-
score it. There's
I don't know how you would score it exactly.
yeah, people excel in like stylistic points, and then sometimes I think part of it is
I guess landing smoothly and stuff
yeah,
like that
you know, like
correctly.
precision
ish.
in your movement, all that kind of stuff. A
Yeah.
lot of it comes down to style because we're getting to the point as a race where it's not
Flashy.
so much the efficiency of what you're doing, but
Like,
it's
hey,
also,
look at me.
Yeah,
Look at the
leader
flat. Look at the
factor.
flashy.
Yeah,
Which
If I can do a triple cork off this little ledge right here, and then somehow manage to combo it into a rise, B twist, whatever, you know.
Which I mean, it's cool, you
Yeah.
know. But as far as parkour and efficiency, obviously, it's not.
Yeah.
It's definitely no flips, you know. But
I could
it's-
see more of like parkour. I can see more of a free running being the more like worthy candidate of
more
making its way to the Olympics,
Yeah.
because it just fits
Yeah.
more with what they already do there, and then they don't have to
Mhm.
get as many obstacles, because parkour, like we talked about in one of our previous podcasts, is it's more for getting yourself somewhere, which is
Right.
fantastic, and it does look good. But the free running is more of what people are looking to see, I guess.
Yeah, draws in the
Yeah.
oohs and the ahs.
Yeah, because let's face it, that's what the Olympics is mostly all about,
yeah,
is
Get
getting.
feats of strength.
they could
Yeah.
even go from like the floorboard they can transition that into a tricking session.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Cool.
yeah,
That would be
our
pretty-
tricking would make it there. Yeah,
Because it's pretty close to the
like
springboard
floor
already.
exercise. Yeah,
Yeah, that's more like gymnastics though, so it's more structured. Whereas in most tricking situations, it's like it's your style, you know.
Yeah.
yeah,
You throw in your own little aspects. You don't have to be perfect with it. There are good ways to do it, and there are better ways to do it.
Yeah.
You know,
yeah.
For sure.
different for everyone. So.
Yeah, that would definitely be really cool. So it makes it way somehow into the Olympics.
Yeah.
I never thought of it that way. That's pretty cool.
Or just like the like media eye.
Yeah,
know,
Yeah, it'd be
further
really
than it
nice.
already
general.
is.
To be like doing parkour and not have a cop pull you over every time he sees you.
Yeah.
Yeah,
like
Just kind of
"Sir,
be
I'm
like,
not hurting
oh yeah,
anyone."
he's just like normally like, oh, they're just playing football, you know.
yeah.
Just being
Yeah.
like, oh no, they're just practicing parkour and free running, you know. That'd be nice.
And I mean, if more like policemen trained parkour, how
Oh,
quickly the
It
crime
would
rate
be-
that,
yeah.
that world, man.
Yeah.
Can you imagine just a world of just like,
everybody's doing
not just
parkour.
yeah,
It's like
not just
it's like
criminals,
life's a
but
movie
police.
now.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like life's a movie now.
Yeah,
The people,
be-
an action movie. The criminals are doing parkour and crazy stuff to get away, and then the cops trailing right behind them doing same or different stuff.
yeah, that'd be cool.
Yeah,
That'd definitely be.
it'd
So
be
yeah, that's
beneficial.
just that's I mean some fun ways of thinking where the world or parkour world, free running world's
Yeah.
going.
So I guess you're right. There is
Right.
still some ways it could go more into the world, but
Yeah.
we'll have to
I
see.
mean,
Those are
for the most-
definitely those two are definitely awesome points, which would be awesome to see if it made its
Yeah.
way to the police
Maybe-
force. Maybe they
more
would
movies and
understand more.
stuff too. Just kind of.
Yeah, I think it's
Yeah.
made its way in media enough. Because for me, it's
Yeah,
like parkour
it's
in
popped up.
games and stuff. It honestly doesn't appeal to me all that much. May I
Yeah.
say it?
Yeah, it's like the real stuff is so much better. Right?
Yeah, it's like every time
Go
I
outside. Go outside and
like
practice.
a lot of times I watch I can't say I've watched too many movies where they do parkour, but I've played a few games where it's there, and I watched some videos online sometimes. But every time I play the game, watch whatever, I end up wanting to go outside and do stuff. And the sucky
Yeah.
part about it is I always end up watching it at like 3 in the morning, and it's like I can't go out and do it at 3 in the morning.
That's
So-
usually kind of frowned upon, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
People
It's
get-
suspicious looking,
Hey,
Yeah.
you know, only if they catch you. You know.
I guess.
If they can identify you.
Exactly. We're not
Which they
supporting.
probably
We
will.
don't. We're not. We're not.
Criminals
No, we're not. We're
most of the time.
we're not
good
not
people.
always hooligans.
Yeah.
no. But yeah, it's kind of just with that.
I think along the lines of parkour being on the rise and how mankind's kind of sort of reaching a peak with our physical capabilities with parkour. I was just looking earlier online, read about the idea of like mind over matter. People can shut pain off, can shut fear off. Certain parts of their brain that the chemical reactions that make you feel fear and all that. If you can figure out how to turn it off or subdue it a little bit more, a lot of times you can use that to your benefit. And that's where I saw it might be going even farther, is to to gain physical fitness in a way that is
It's like a
like
peak.
psychological.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
I
and we've
think
touched
it's
on it before. It's like parkour is not just a physical.
Mental.
It's the train. It's not a physical discipline. It's not just a physical discipline. It's disciplines your mind too, and it changes your thoughts. It can change your thoughts of things. It doesn't always, but it can.
Yeah.
And
and it lifts your spirit.
Yeah.
Seriously.
it's like
Literally.
yeah, it's like
I mean,
meditation
totally, yeah.
for some people. Seriously,
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
It-
like one of those. It's just a.
it gives
basically
you a
better
new
high, but it's
perspective.
above that, it's not like doing drugs or anything. It's adrenaline rush with the feeling of power and all that
Inner
that you get from it.
strength.
Yeah.
I feel like you just fly.
Yep.
basically.
It's like you get a new perspective on the world,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So
physically
nice.
and mentally.
It's so nice when you could just like observe like a structure or something and just be like, yes, that'd be so fun.
Yeah, you get those parkour eyes that we mentioned in a different
Parkour
podcast.
vision.
Yeah.
Yep.
You're like,
Love that word.
Sweet. Let's go jump on that. Let's go climb that.
That looks plausible.
Do we want to go over, under, around?
Oh, let's just go.
Through.
Yeah. Then you click the button for an elevator.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's like I couldn't make up my mind.
Yeah.
Yeah, whatever. Ding. Right now, this is the most efficient way because I can't think of anything.
It's literally a cement wall going straight up.
Yeah, we've seen a few of
12
those.
stories.
Or like the window sill will be rounded off, so there's no way to climb.
Yeah.
People
Or
find
it's
a
a
way.
courthouse.
It's true.
People
a federal
do crazy.
building.
You've seen those videos of that guy that climbs that wall, like where he goes
Oh,
upside
yeah.
down. He's like a spider.
Oh, yeah.
People find a way. Yep. That guy is a monkey.
Literally.
A monkey.
He's like trying to dino jump it, and he's like, you know what? This would probably be easier if
Upside
I
down.
flip upside down and reach
use my
behind.
Yeah.
toes.
You know what? I was right. Definitely easier.
He's
Just
able to reach it now.
there he goes.
Yep. It is easier for some people.
Yeah.
I guess.
Yeah. Have you seen those pictures of Tim Sheaf, the black and white ones, where I think he's trying to show like a artistic way of staying fit, and it's kind of different, but it's just a bunch of like pictures of him nude,
Oh, yeah. I've seen
Of-
those.
but like it's nothing like too revealing or anything, but it's just like showing like the fitness
Oh yeah.
of one's body doing stuff. Like I think there's one of him doing a human flag.
Yeah.
Um,
With like a cityscape in the background.
yeah, just really insane, just kind of stuff.
It's interesting.
but-
Yeah.
Yeah,
Jason Paul is actually one of the photographers,
The photographer,
that
yeah.
took those, and he's my friend on Snapchat.
Oh dang.
I get to see a whole lot of his
Work.
adventures.
That's pretty neat, actually.
so yeah,
Yeah.
Very nice. Very
Yeah.
nice.
so it's cool. Yeah, so that's kind of what that's about. I guess we could answer some other questions. Real quick, we got some from some people. Let's see. So, what would you guys think for the parkour community? This is kind of along the lines of media and stuff, but what do you think kind of music? And it's a personal thing, but what kind of music do you think works best for you guys?
Well,
From oh no, go
all
Ken.
right. For me, so it's always with music. Obviously, it's always a personal preference, and everyone's
Yeah.
always biased. Sometimes, I guess, and I've met a lot of people that are tracers that have an interesting taste in music. Is all I'm gonna say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Especially for doing parkour, and it doesn't make sense to me. But whatever floats your boat, whatever. What's that word you say? Whatever floats your fancy.
Gotcha.
But for me, I do like the heavier metals for that, because I feel like it's fast beat and drops, like the beat drop they do is nice and pumps you up for a nice trick or something. But definitely the one that takes the cake for me is EDM.
Hmm.
That one always
Yeah.
will.
It seems to be pretty popular with a lot of tracers.
Yeah. It's definitely in a lot of videos.
I've seen a lot of hip hop in the community
Yeah.
though,
Yeah.
which I'm not honestly. I don't know if any of us are.
We
There are two types of tracers in this.
there's us and the rest of the world, and then there's the
And there's that.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of them were cool guys and stuff, but
oh yeah, it's if they throw that music on though, don't expect me to like be like, oh yeah, I can, because honestly, music can make or break your
Mhm.
tricks, your flow, any of that. I know, because for me, I try and flip on the beat of something, and it
Yep.
just makes my trick feel so much more powerful
Mhm.
and just like, ah, it was
You're
awesome.
throwing everything at a
Yeah,
specific
at a
time. You're not.
specific beat, you
Sometimes
know.
gives you that more of that push you need to jump a little higher or go a little farther.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
man. Like I was trying to a couple of years ago when I was trying to learn all my flips and everything. Um, I was trying to learn how to do just like a standing side, and I'm like, man, I can't get it. I was just like frustrated, so I kind of took a little bit of a break. Um, and then I'm like, I need some music. I need something to pump me up. So I put on "You'll Go Far, Kid" by The Offspring, and I'm like, oh yeah, yeah. I just start getting pumped, and just like first try when that beat dropped, just I was just boom, landed perfectly, and my friend Tyler was just like, how'd you do that? I'm like, I don't know. I just felt the beat. It was awesome. Yeah. But I've done just like several tricks have done that for me, or several songs
Yeah.
have done
We
that
got
for
you.
me.
We
Same
got
as
you.
well.
And so that's, I mean, it helps me out a lot. Just so if it's something slow, I would say something that's
Mhm.
more for like parkour, something, you know.
Yeah. I'm kind of a music nerd.
I know, right?
So yeah, sorry.
Yeah,
Um,
you are.
a lot of
Why are you
like when I look
apologizing
at
for it?
man, it's so terrible. It, the
I
more
will
you know
take the
about a
burden.
subject, the more you start to hate it, and then like you have a deeper appreciation for things like jazz. You're like,
Oh,
what
I
the heck
love
is
jazz.
jazz? Is great,
Hmm.
obviously, but like EDM. If you break it down to like the theory and where it comes from, a lot of it's so basic,
It's pretty simplistic.
but it's kind of useful in that just because it's you don't have to think about anything that's
Yeah.
going on. You just kind of feel it. Yeah, it's there. You don't have to. You're not focusing on any words more of the
Unless
time.
your rhythm's bad.
Yeah, and you're just
Then it's
you're
like
weird.
uh,
Yeah.
trick.
For me personally, though, if like I'm working out with headphones and stuff, I've got my own kind of playlist that's more upbeat and it's more along the lines of like rock and stuff, but kind of into like indie rock, which is I don't know, it's kind of on the
Huh, I could do indie rock.
it's getting in there, it's becoming more and more popular, which is kind of against
I was gonna say
what it
that
is.
doesn't really.
Yeah, it's an
Yeah,
oxymoron in
it's
itself.
Yeah,
rock is
exactly.
rock
Yeah,
Yep.
when you break it down.
yeah,
um,
it's the same four chords.
It all started with a guitar. Well, I don't
yeah,
know. I just
but
feel
yeah,
like it did.
that's what I think for music preference, anyways.
Yeah.
If it has a good beat to it, as okay. There's one genre I can't do hip hop or trap or something,
No,
just
I
because. I mean, there's a build, yes, but
We just don't like that drop.
I'm sorry, but
Yeah.
it just
I can't stand anything that just has an F word every other word.
Yeah.
that too.
For me, it's
Um,
not really the lyrics wise. A lot of times, if they're doing that, sometimes when I'm doing parkour, I don't even really realize what they're saying. But it's just the
Mhm.
overall feel of the song to me, and
Yeah.
if it's something I don't like, hopefully everyone that's listening knows that there are people who don't like your style of music, and I'm not saying everyone's a
We're not
hypocrite or not,
bashing
but
on
no,
anything.
we're not bashing anything. But I just don't like hip hop. I don't like trap, and it seems like you guys don't either. And
Yeah.
when you don't like something like that, it's just like it's hard to get pumped up to do your trick, even when there's no music, and that's pretty bad when there's no music.
Mm-hmm.
To
Yeah.
me, music is like everything.
Yeah.
So and it's hard
It's-
to not have it. Like
It's definitely a pretty good chunk of life.
there's always an instance where you can have music improve yourself,
Right.
even
Yeah.
if you gotta sing it yourself,
Mm-hmm.
which I've
Yeah.
had to do.
But yeah, if you like if you like trap and hip hop, that's awesome. Cause like, I can see where you would like it and everything.
Mm-hmm.
But we're not bashing any genre of music. We're just saying what our preference is.
Mm-hmm.
Um, But yeah, it's just whatever gets you in the mood. That's kind of what personal preference of music, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah. Another thing is like music and the videos we put in or we put up. We post to YouTube and all that. Um, it's kind of interesting trying to find a good fit for the the video that we're posting
Yeah.
because sometimes you know you gotta base the way you pile up your clips or if you're a good videographer
Mhm.
you're gonna uh, place your clips with like the beat of the music. You're gonna
Yep.
have the frame
That's
change
how I do
as
it.
the beat goes. Yeah,
I
that's how
love doing
most
it like that.
Then
videos
again,
do.
that's kind of opinionative, but
Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of videos that do that.
If you got something going too slow, like we were watching a video the other day, and
Yeah,
not to bash on these people either,
they were
they
good.
were doing good stuff.
The music choice
But
was a little different.
yeah, it didn't fit what they were doing because it was like really fast and they were doing a lot.
They
of
were just doing
slow-mos.
really slow stuff, really flow and slow, and it was just like
It just felt weird,
it was
you
just.
can't really do that.
Yeah, it's like you gotta have it fit what you're doing, and obviously that's what you
Yeah.
guys talking about. But that instance, it seems like it's similar to if you take a video of someone like Rocky running upstairs working out and stuff, and then you put like Gone in the
And
Wind
then
in
you
the
start
back
playing
or
like
something like that, a violin song or something. It's like
Yeah.
that doesn't work. It's like I'm
Put
feeling
opera music
feeling
on.
two different things right now. What am I feeling? It doesn't work that way. And
you put.
if it feels awkward, then you probably should change it. So
Probably.
I
But
guess just a
again,
little bit of video editing note.
Yeah.
Again, that's kind of personal preference on our end, but
I don't know. I think everybody should do that.
To a degree. Well, yeah,
have your
yeah,
stuff
yeah.
have your music match your stuff.
right. But it could be possible that people feel like that. There could be a group of people that are just like, well,
We want to be different.
that I think it sounds great with it. They could have like a totally different mindset
I guess
for
that's
it,
true, but
But for the most part, yeah, it's kind of what we think.
just don't
Take
get
it,
too crazy
leave
with it. I
it.
guess.
Take it what you want with that, but
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. When it all boils down to you do what you want, and then when if anybody else tells you different, then I guess
Yeah.
don't listen to them.
Yeah.
Do what makes you happy.
yeah, for sure. But yeah, man.
Finding good headphones while training, it's kind of tough.
Oh my gosh, yes,
Yeah.
I've had so many issues with trying to find good headphones. Like,
Mhm.
I'm a tech guy. I have a lot of tech, and I have a lot of headphones, and I've had a lot of headphones, and I haven't found one yet that really works with parkour. Parkour, though, yeah,
Yeah.
a couple are okay, but like once you start busting flips, that's when you start having issues. Like, I have this
Yeah,
pair of
Kyle-
headphones that I spent a lot of money on, and I thought, oh,
Mhm.
they're pretty tight on my head. I bet I can bust a flip, and I do it, and they fly off, and that's like $350 flying in midair, and I'm like, no. So I was
Yeah.
like, okay, I guess I can't do anything with that. And then going to all those indoor trampoline parks. A couple times I've gone by myself to train, and I was like, I want to have music in, but every 5 seconds I'm trying to do some combos, and when the earbud pops out of my face, and I'm just like, why? And then the cord flies around everywhere, so I have to shove it up my shirt, and then it kind of like hangs low down near my hip region, and it's awkward. And
Yeah.
Yeah.
and then they of course just
Epic.
pop out.
Epic Mendoza, dude.
Yeah, he did I don't know if he was sponsoring or they were sponsoring him, but it was earbuds, and they were
Earbuds.
advertising as kind of like YUR buds.
I feel like I've
Um,
seen this.
Yeah, he was advertising them. He put them in one of those videos and was saying they're kind of like the official headphones, sort of wireless headphones for parkour, because they actually fit into your ear and kind of hook in, and they tighten around your jaw, so they look a little funny. But when you're flying around and you're doing flips, they stay super secure.
Doesn't
I haven't
matter,
tried them out
yeah.
personally. Yeah,
Wow, that
they're a
sounds
little
pretty
expensive,
awesome.
and yeah, and they're wireless. but then you have to find a good spot for your phone so it's not going to go flying around too.
Yeah, that's
Or
the
you
other
use it.
issue. I guess you could buy one of the arm patches, because I've always
Yeah.
I've tried to use those before, and they're good for cardio stuff. But when you start using your muscles, like especially like I always would try to use it when I'm
Mhm.
working out, like lifting weights, and
Mm-hmm.
I would do like a curl, and it would pop right off.
Yeah.
So I don't really
Yeah, I'm trying
understand.
to work with my my girlfriend. She sews things. She's an old lady at heart, but I told her that since she does that for Christmas, I wanted to make me like a cool Assassin's Creed style outfit. But I told her when you're making this, you gotta put a pocket kind of like in the center or off to the side, kind of under one of my arms, that can secure, and it's perfect size for my phone. So I can put my phone in there, and since it's closer to the center of mass, it's not going to move around as much when I'm flipping, and it'll secure in a place where I'm constantly protecting that. The lower on your chest, you're never really going to hit the ground with it unless you really flop.
Yeah.
Right.
So
That's
I was
cool.
kind of telling her, yeah, like put it in this spot. Maybe that'll be useful for me. So I don't know. We'll see if I get an awesome Christmas present.
That would be cool. It looks
sure.
like I looked up the earbuds. They look pretty sweet. They yeah,
Mhm.
you're all right. They're kind of pricey. They range from. Looks like if you want to get a good wireless one, you're probably gonna spend $100 and up.
Yep.
So that's
Jeez.
pretty pricey.
Yeah.
But for some people,
It-
sometimes including myself, at least as of right now, that doesn't seem like a bad price.
Yeah.
Obviously,
It's-
since I
For what
stated,
it's
Yeah.
doing.
yeah, obviously since I stated that I had $150 headphones.
Yeah.
So
It's pretty easy to spend a lot of money for for
gear.
training. Yeah,
oh yeah,
but
and for tech for me.
yeah.
Yeah. I just spent almost $80 on my all those zeros.
Dying.
Those are some sweet shoes, though. I mean, they're
Yeah.
not quite minimalist, but they
They do what you
they
need.
do
Then
the job.
yeah,
They-
then that's
get the
all
job
that
done.
And they're
matters.
zero drop, so it's more of a natural stance shoe, but there's still the cushioning there.
Nice.
Oh, man,
How much
they're
did you
great.
drop on
Huh.
that?
After shipping and handling, it was like 82, I think, or something.
Yeah.
But I had just gotten a reimbursement basically for my credit card rewards. I was
Oh,
like,
so it was
sweet.
like free.
I'll put that. Yeah.
Nice. I guess that works.
Sweet. So
Yeah.
you didn't
So,
have to not
what do you
eat for a
think-
week.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was just making you up.
Buddy.
What's up?
so what do you think of like the community? Sorry, draw back things. What do you think of like the offices of the law with
I'm a cop.
versus parkour?
Yeah.
Sorry.
It's a
Yeah.
it's
Or-
a it's a touchy subject, I guess, because it also just depends on the individual, not really just the parkour community or the officers, the
Mhm.
police. It's
This-
like
yeah.
I've always said this with every mass amount of people versus another. I used to always I figured it out whenever I was looking into like how Christians and atheists go at it. Sometimes they or just people's opinions on the one or the other. They say, oh, the atheists this, or the atheists say, oh, the Christians this. It's like not all of them are like that. Some of them,
Yeah.
Right.
but not all of them. And it's the same thing for this, for anything that's one group versus another. And
Right.
sometimes it just depends on the motive of
Mm.
of both of them. The motive of
Yeah.
the tracer, was he actually doing parkour, or was he actually committing a crime? And he was just saying,
or being
"Oh,
just
I was just
disrespectful
yeah,
in general.
Yeah.
like an actual trespassing," and he blames it on parkour, and which is also very terrible to do because that gives it a bad name, which just draws us back further of something we're trying to fix.
Yeah.
And then it's also just the motive of the cop. Is he bored
Mhm.
and he just wants to bust somebody,
Mm.
trying to get a quota, trying to meet a quota.
Yep.
Seriously, some of them do that. I'm sure you know.
Oh, I know.
Yeah.
I'm aware.
So, I do think that, my personal opinion, that they could be a little bit more lenient or a little bit more generous to us.
Mm.
Mhm.
But it's hard to do that because then again, if defending them, they don't always know, and they're probably taught
Right.
to never to always question what they say or what it looks like, and
Mhm.
it's the world's a pretty jacked up place sometimes. People
Mm.
are slobs and criminals, and the cops are
Yeah.
just trying to help. I get
All
it, but
people. Yeah.
sometimes it just we we were just at this one place doing I was doing a flip off of a bench or a rail thing in this nice little area where there was a few good obstacles to hit up
Mm.
downtown Denver one time, and this guy just comes out and he's just like, I need you guys to leave, and we say, all right,
Huh.
it's fine, but
Yeah, you just gotta be
My-
respectful. I mean,
yeah, and that's how you make
Mhm.
the name, because you don't want people to associate the rudeness. You don't want to talk back, and then they're like, "Oh, those
Yep.
parkour guys suck," and then you just made a bad name for the whole parkour community.
Yeah.
But
and that's
you-
where people's attention goes.
exactly, and that's where
They
that's
look
where it
for
meets the
the
media.
bad, not necessarily the good.
Yep.
Not
That's-
everyone, but for the
Yeah.
most part.
Not yes, I know, I totally agree, and that's where the media comes in. Is I always find that the media, like the news and stuff, with just topics in general, focus on a lot of negative things, because people
Right.
like gossip and stuff like that, and the scoop, and most of the time when I ever watch the news, it's always bad stuff. That's why I don't watch the news. But I remember hearing a
Mhm.
story once of this guy that did a side flip over train tracks.
Oh,
in,
yeah,
in a
in
subway.
Boston.
Yes.
Boston.
Yes.
Yep.
And
I've been to those train tracks.
have you? Okay. I'm sure
Yeah.
you were tempted to do the same thing, right?
uh, if my capabilities were that high, then yes. But
And that's a whole nother debate right there. Like, sorry, didn't mean to ignore what you said, but
no, it's fine.
I would do it too, because the side flips are my favorite, and it's an awesome thing.
Uh-huh.
But you just got to think of it a little bit more before you do
Mm.
something like that. If it's just a
Be
gap,
respectful.
yeah.
Mhm.
Because I think personally, I agree with that. He should not have done it,
Mm.
because I believe it was private property, and he was inside it. Another point,
Mm.
but it's just that was totally a dangerous move, and he said that if it kills me, then so what? And it's just like, he said something like that, but it's
Mhm.
just like, come on, man. Yeah, if you don't want to live, then okay, that's pretty weird, but it's gonna also it's gonna make a bad name for all the rest of us, like it already did. I'm sure a lot of people saw that in news and like, oh, those parkour guys are at it again,
Mm.
and
Yeah.
it's again just a mass versus another mass.
Yeah, it just depends. Like, if you're doing something, like you said, think ahead of time. Like, would this cause any issues?
Yeah, it's like he could have
Um,
hurt some other people too.
You, yeah, and you don't know, because your mindset might be different from another person's point of view who doesn't even do parkour and free running, who aren't even aware of the sport, you know?
Yeah,
And they're like, whoa, what are you doing? Which we run into a lot, which a lot of people run into a lot. They're just like, whoa, what is this thing you're doing, you know? And as annoying as it is, they'll be like, you don't want to fall and hurt your head, you know? You gotta be careful. Which they don't know that we've trained that, but we don't put our mindset in theirs where we're like, okay, well, they don't see that. They don't know what we've been through, you know?
yeah.
It's just a point of view. You have to put yourself in their mind, and, you know, vice versa, kind of explain to them. And if it becomes an issue, you know, just be like, yep, I fully understand, you know,
Mhm.
and just move on.
I'll do it somewhere else. You know, you don't have to worry about it.
Yep.
Yep.
But I
Or
will
wait
let you
till
know,
another-
You know, I trained for this. You know.
Yeah.
It's proper.
Yep.
Or wait till another person is on shift and go back. That works
Yeah.
too. You just
Definitely
gotta kind of
just-
do your own thing about it, but you gotta be respectful to
Yep.
not just their stuff, but the whole community, and then just
Mhm.
hope that they're gonna do the same back. Because
Mhm.
Yep.
especially with the law enforcement.
Definitely
It's
law
like
enforcement.
I can never really say if I really agree with one side or the other. Probably more with tracers, just because I'm biased, I guess. Because I think that we should have that right to play around a little more. But
Yeah.
um, but
They
it can always just go the other way.
right. And again, it's just kind of it sucks, but like the generation that this is like a whole new generation coming into, you know, the police department and the law enforcement, I should say. And
Yeah,
it's something new that they have to deal with, like, well, okay, um it's just going to take a while to get used to,
yeah. So
you
maybe
know, if it
eventually it'll make its way.
maybe it'd be nice.
Word in, and then they know what it is, and it's not a negative thing either.
Right.
Because it could
Um
always make its way in, but for some it could always remain negative.
Right, and it just depends again on their mindset because you have to view from their mindset. Like, well, usually when I see someone climbing a building or something, they're trying to cause trouble, which
Breaking in.
right, which leads to another thing. If you do get caught in an area by law enforcement where they're not really trying to get you or anything, they're just kind of trying to see what you're doing so that you're not causing trouble. Don't run away
Yeah.
No, yeah. If they're approaching you,
or pretend that you're like, oh no, I'm not, you know, don't be nervous about it, just be
Talk
honest.
to 'em.
yeah,
Just be like, oh yeah, I'm just practicing, you
If
know,
they
Yeah.
don't,
I'm doing this.
if you say, well, do you know what parkour is? And they're like, no. You say, well, have you seen American Ninja Warrior?
Yeah.
Typically they have, or
There's
they have a kid that
some
has,
relation to that at
you know.
least.
yeah,
that can get you out of any
Yeah.
trouble because they can actually relate to it and they're like, oh, okay, yeah, I can see that you're not really doing anything wrong. I'm gonna ask if you would mind staying off this rooftop. You know, like,
Not
okay.
saying that that's gonna happen all the time, but
Yeah.
for the majority, if you
that would be best case scenario
Yeah.
right there if you got approached by a cop. But you never want to run away though. Like
no,
you just gotta.
you don't want
kind of like when you get pulled over. You never want to take off
Yeah.
because
Yeah,
it could
you
just
don't
be
wanna
they're
show-
telling you that your headlight's out.
yeah, you don't want to you don't want to give them any reason to think that you're doing something wrong.
Yeah.
because
If
that's
you run
that will
away,
only.
if you run away, that's a whole nother charge.
Yep.
And if they're gonna
And-
do something about what you're doing now, then all right, whatever. But a lot of the times you just tell them. Some of the time, I don't know a lot, but you tell them doing parkour. You know what that is, and you're like, oh yeah, okay, and then they'll leave. It's like
Mhm.
there's no reason to run.
Yeah.
If you're
But
not
yeah,
causing trouble,
well-
then whatever.
Other than law enforcement, I mean, it's not just law enforcement. It's not just civilians, but it's like people who work in buildings.
Yeah.
Yeah, the shop owners.
Yep,
I
we've-
read a story once where this
We've-
guy was just he was on his way back from school, I think, and he just wanted to do a flip off of this thing, and he did it, and he felt good, and the guy came out and just was totally like yelling him, cussing him out, and
Mm.
everything, and the guy just said, "Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to upset you, and I'm just doing this," and then he's like, "I don't, whatever this." He called the cops, and the cop came and ran him in the system and all this stuff.
Jeez.
It's like he just did a flip off of like a rail or something like that. It's like, really, some people really just need to calm their crap.
Yeah, there's sometimes those people who are just way too uptight.
Oh yeah,
But
I believe you were
like
gonna say something.
we've run into people for like photo shoots and stuff. We were practicing in front of a building. It was a little more official, so it's understandable why.
Mhm.
But he came out. He looked like he's seen this before.
Yeah.
It's like by several.
Like it was his
Tracers.
turn to come
Yeah,
out.
I'm sure in
He's like,
Denver.
all right, it's my turn to go out there. He's like,
Yeah, they run into it a lot
But
there.
I believe
wish
you
they
were
ran into it more.
Yeah.
with us that one.
Yeah,
time,
I
believe.
was.
It was
I
downtown
actually,
Denver. And,
I
yeah.
actually brought
And
that
he was
one
just
up
like,
just
hey,
a little
could
bit
you,
ago.
could you,
Yeah, I actually brought that one up right
he was
tonight.
like, could you guys stop?
Yeah.
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 That's
yeah.
funny.
That was when I did that's when I was doing the flips off the thing, and he
Mhm.
came out. And,
That's a nice little walk.
Mm.
Yeah.
yep, that was a nice spot.
Yeah, even like what was it, like last week? Yeah, when we were doing we were just
Yeah.
getting some footage, just some good view and stuff. And there's this theater that has a nice little spot. You can run up the wall and grab this pipe and do a giant dyno up to the roof, and then just like muscle up and get up there really nicely. And this lady pulled up, and she kind of pulled out of her car, and she's like, "Hey, are you supposed to be doing that?" I'm like, probably not. And she's like, "Yeah, I didn't think so. Um, can you take your shenanigans somewhere else?" That's what she said. Like,
Yep.
It's like, I'm not gonna call the cops or anything. I don't think you guys are doing anything super wrong. Just I don't want
Yeah.
you guys to get hurt here.
I'm like, oh,
Okay.
okay.
You know, she doesn't know that we've trained for it. She doesn't know all that.
Yeah, because
She
usually
sees
they
us
just they usually just see us as children climbing
Mhm.
around.
Yeah.
Like that's exactly how they see us as children climbing around. Like if you had kids and they were climbing around your table or something and they were getting on it, you would probably
Yeah.
get them off, right?
Yeah.
Because they don't know what they're doing. But that's how they see us. But we actually know what we're doing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Most of the time.
Yeah.
So that's just unfortunately how it is for them. But it still aggravates me. Like I'm just one of those people that's just
Yeah.
like it aggravates me. I try not to show it and I try to just be
Yeah.
respectful. But God, it
Yeah.
still aggravates me. It's like, come on, just especially if they don't own the place. It's like, just
Mhm.
buzz off. Mind your own business.
Yeah.
Like everybody thinks they have to be the savior of the day, making
Mhm.
those hooligans stop climbing a roof.
They're gonna get hurt and their liability. They're gonna sue.
Oh man,
for
yeah.
this building.
We were when I was a counselor, which is the first place I met Russell. We were just practicing flips inside of like a little sand area for like volleyball.
Uh-huh.
Really simple.
Yeah, that's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, and one of the other people who worked there, he was like one of the like veterans of the place. Like he kind of was like, hey, could you guys not do that? Because we don't want you guys to get hurt and all this other stuff. And we're like, all right,
It's sand.
Uh,
People get
we-
hurt.
like,
Yeah.
Doing things walking down the street.
yeah. But
It's like
Okay.
people have
Out
got
of respect,
people have gotten
we'll
hurt
give respect.
walking down the street, falling down, like you said, probably more than
Yeah,
we've
you're
gotten
more at
hurt.
risk going outside and going to your job. You're at higher
Yeah,
risk. than
driving your
somebody
car.
who actually practices it. You know?
You're driving your car because higher risk of getting hurt than what we're doing.
mm,
Yeah.
There's way
Yeah, I
more
like
people
the
that-
way Tony Hawk actually, being a skateboarder, is a little different. But
Mm.
similar.
there was a guy who was kind of bashing on Tony Hawk at one point for taking his daughter on his skateboard with him, and so he'd ride around with his daughter and stuff. And the guy was concerned for his daughter's safety. And then Tony Hawk put it this way: he said, "I am at less risk of having my daughter fall off my skateboard than you would be by carrying your son down the street."
Oh.
Because I have so much control on my skateboard and I am so protective of my daughter that I wouldn't do this
yeah.
if it was going to, hurt her.
Yeah. How much you want to bet that guy doesn't even have kids?
Yeah.
Because they just don't get it.
Yeah.
Like, that's why
People get all pissy about nothing, and it's
Yeah.
kind of annoying.
Yeah, that's
Okay.
what I was saying. Like the people should just mind their own business
Yeah.
just a little more often. I get sometimes when they have to stick their nose in things, but for certain
Mm.
reasons. But for just stuff like that, it's like, come on.
If it's somewhere that's pretty public, and especially if it's somewhere where it's like people have climbed there, people have seen people climb there,
Yeah.
and they still get mad about it, then it's like,
Yeah, that'd be like if someone told us not to climb on what are those blocks in downtown Vancouver we went to?
Oh, the Kelly
Yeah.
fountains.
Yeah, that'd be like someone telling us not to climb
Yeah.
on those. Like everyone climbs on those.
It's like, this is a popular training
Yeah,
spot.
like-
People
it's
train.
practically a playground.
Yeah.
For us, it is definitely.
But yeah, for real, man.
Cool. All right, so I guess that kind of wraps up this podcast.
Yeah.
Um,
What did we talk about? Just the history,
a little bit of the history.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Touched on all that.
Slightly off topic with
Yeah.
kind of personal stuff,
yeah, some of
but
that training,
Yeah, well.
gear and all that.
But
yeah,
that's kind of what
Still
we talked
involves
about.
all the community and stuff. So
Yeah.
I think it was
Yeah.
pretty solid.
All right, cool. All right. If you have any questions for us, you can tag us on Facebook or Twitter. And if we missed anything, if you have any concerns, then please don't hesitate to ask.
let us know.
Yep. You can find us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, SoundCloud,
YouTube.
which is where, yeah,
We got
or
some videos
YouTube.
on YouTube. Nothing
This-
too awesome yet. But
Yeah, we're working on
We're
2
gonna-
videos and more podcasts. This podcast will be on SoundCloud and YouTube, so check us out there. And like always, we'll see you in the future.
Bye bye.